EMPs. They have been added to the game a few months back, and they have been a very good all-around weapon. And they just go straight for the mechanicals. I believe that everyone that has touched this game the last few months already knows about them and what they do. But what we don't know is how exactly they work and if there's any way to counter them. Looking in for testing in the last few weeks, I have been trying to work a way of figuring out what they do and what exactly they are supposed to be doing, you know? And of course it's a bit hard. They are just this explosion that messes with so many mechanical blocks and all these sorts of things, and it would seem that they are perfectly random, right? However, what if I told you that they are quite literally just explosions but dressed in blue? That might seem odd, I know, but that's very true, and I have the evidence to back it up. That information not only will give us very important information about how they work, but also a way to counter them. And over here I have got two of these testing setups, as I attempted to do some early tests about this thing. Over here we have this thing that has a 2x4 blocks, 2x4 shields. It's this big, both from the back and on the front the shields are present. Over here we have 4 hinges on this side, 4 on that side, 8 hinges total, 4 pistons, 6 heavy engines total over here. And in this one I used whole blocks alongside that exact setup. And in this one it's much wider, as you can see. Like there's a lot of studs over here, and this one it's only 3 like wide. And I have got this insanely advanced system over here to do some testing, just literally an EMP, and let's see how it affects these things. So first of all, let's do a shot on this system right here, on this wall. And if the EMP works as it should, we should see several of these systems spazzing out or just acting randomly. And remember that the EMP, we should see some lightning effects on anything that's affected. And, well, let's get it on here. As you can see, there's lightning everywhere, even got a little bit on that other module too. And a lot of stuff was affected. If I do another shot over here, you can see some of the hinges are moving by themselves. There's a lot of electric particles everywhere, and that's going to be our main thing showing us what is happening with the system. Because sometimes the EMP, it has 2 main effects. It makes things spaz out randomly, it's going to randomly activate them, which you can see are some of these hinges here and there that move by themselves. But most often what happens is that they just reverse outputs, so that they do the reverse of what they should be doing. And of course we would only see that if we are actually like in this seat and doing that, but we can have a very good idea of what's affected or not by simply watching the lighting effect. And as we can see, there's a lot of it over there. Now let's move over to the next target, and in this one I'm going to make the walls incredibly thick, because there's something that I noticed. And the distance in between that point and the electronics, it really does not matter. Like, as you can see, this is very big, very wide amount of space in between the front and the mechanics at the back here, and when I shoot, almost everything gets hit. You can see lightning absolutely everywhere. Let's get another shot in. This time, this side over here was affected. Let's give one more. And see again, all of it was affected. So there really is not much of a correlation in between distance and what is hit or not. As you can see, it hits very consistently. I decided to leave it there for a while. I believe it that maybe it was just something completely random, like completely disconnected from the rest of the game, and there would be absolutely no way of doing anything against it. And that was that until one day I noticed that for some reason the EMPs, you know, they were destroying a lot of the planes I was building at the time. I was doing some fun stuff with some friends. However, when I pulled one of this tank in special the other day, and I pulled it to a server, you know, just to play around, I had noticed that the EMPs did not seem to have a lot of effect on it. Looking around it, even without its shield, it was still able to absorb EMPs quite reliably. So I took to like checking around, looking around, and the only distinctive thing this tank has that sets it apart from other vehicles I have is the fact that it has heavy composite armor on its front. So testing again, and over here we have a plate made of heavy composite armor, has heavy blocks, 1x2 shields, and when I fire it, nothing has been affected. Let's do another shot. A few hinges over there. Let's do one more. Now that side. Let's get going. This time, nothing. Again, nothing. So this is something very interesting that I had noted. The heavy composite armor, as you can see, this was 4 shots in a row now with no effect. It has lesser effect. It's lesser effect at all. Like you can see, several shots now without a single thing being affected. So I began doing some numbers, and I have got some quite interesting numbers that make me believe that EMPs are quite literally just explosions dressed up as, you know, this mechanical funky thingy. So I did several test runs with several types of armor, like all kinds, shapes and forms. And I have done a testing with light armor using grid blocks, 1x2 grid blocks and 1x2 shields. I have used whole blocks, 4x8s, everything, and there's a very clear pattern that follows the mechanics of damage and explosions in this game, where the more HP is stacked in an area, the less likely it is that electronics are to be affected. Mind you, that test was made with 18 electronics, you know, like there's 8 hinges, 6 heli engines, 4 pistons. But what's necessary to reliably protect only a single piece of electronic? Let's say this hinge that's positioned immediately behind that small plate over there with just heavy blocks and 1x2 shields. As you can see, that one did not hit. This one did not hit either. So as you can see, like, we can, just by adding a few of these blocks to a build, we can greatly reduce the likelihood that any electronic is going to be hit. Just like that, it took 5 shots for everything to be affected by for a split second. Just with this setup, we are able to pretty much nullify the effects of an EMP, the likelihood of it hitting the critical components of a vehicle. Just as a heads up, of course, that's not 100%. You know, it's still going to have a slight chance of sometimes affecting something in the build, but as you could see with these things I have shown, it is far less likely. And now to finish this video off nicely and to show you some visual proof about these claims, over here on the left of your screen there is some armor made out of whole blocks with really big distance in between the hit spot and the electronics. Over here we have a light composite armor, 1x2 shields alongside 1x2 grid blocks, and over there we have heavy blocks alongside the 1x2 shields. They all have the exact same amount of electronics, they all have the exact same setup, and I will perform 20 shots on each, and let's see how that goes. hope you have enjoyed the video. If you could pretty kindly subscribe and leave a like, that would be much appreciated. I thank you all for your attention. See you until some point in the future.